30-minute scoliosis friendly and pre and postnatal friendly class. Okay, so you're going to take the ball and place it down onto the mat and have a seat on top of it. And I want you to bring your feet out nice and wide on the mat just to provide you a little bit of stability and support here. And you're just going to begin holding the backs of your thighs, reaching your elbows out to the sides of the room, and the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. So you're going to inhale just a little sip of air through your nose, and then exhale everything out through the mouth. Inhale as you need to, and then exhale. I want you to grow taller through the crown of the head as you exhale. Try not to shrink in on yourself here. You're exhaling, exhale, exhale. Good. And now you can stay here with your hands behind your thighs, or you can switch your hand position. You're going to take your hands and cup around your ears and just gently traction your head up towards the ceiling. So you're just inhaling just a little sip of air, and then exhale, grow taller, pull the belly back towards the spine, and inhale again as you need to, and exhale, grow taller. Make sure you're not arching the back. Grow taller, grow taller. Good. Release your hands and kind of shake it out a little bit. Okay, and now I want you to bring your feet, make sure you have some space between your feet and the ball. You're going to hinge your upper body slightly forward, so you're on a diagonal here. And if you want to reset your posture, just grab the backs of your thighs nice and gently. And you're going to, if you know your corrections, go ahead and do them now. So I'm drawing my left ribs back and my right hip back in this position. So as I'm maintaining that, I'm going to begin reaching my arms out forward and then reach them back behind without pushing my ribs forward. And reach your arms out forward and back behind, pulling the navel in towards the spine just a little bit more. Arms reach forward and back behind. One more time each way. Good. And now I want you to reach your arms out forward. I'm a little bit crooked on my mat here. Let me center myself here. You're going to pull your elbow back on the side where your back is pushed out to the back. So that is your convexity. So you're pulling your elbow out and try to push those ribs forward on that side, and then reach your arm out forward. So draw the elbow back as you push the ribs forward and reach that arm out. Set the shoulders down the back. You're still hinged slightly forward. Good. Pulling that belly back towards the spine. 2 more times here. Now if you don't have scoliosis, you can just be pulling both arms back at the same time, squeezing between the shoulder blades. And now go ahead and relax and shake it out. Good, and now we're going to do the other side. So this is the side that is concaved and kind of sunken in towards the back, and those ribs push out to the front on that same side. So now what I'm doing, this is my left side that is like that. I'm drawing my left hand down towards the floor and trying to draw those ribs back into my body, and then reach your arm out forward. Exhale, pull that arm down and reach it out forward. So again, you can pull both arms down if you don't have scoliosis and you're following along with this class. Trust me, it is still going to be very challenging for you. Good, you're lengthening through the crown of the head. Try not to roll back onto the ball. And one more time, exhale. And inhale, reach that arm out forward. Relax your arms and shake it out. Good. Okay, now you're going to support yourself with your hands back behind you. So I don't recommend being flat onto your palms. You want to be elevated a little bit so you can be up onto your knuckles. And I want you to press down nice and strong with those knuckles and walk your feet in a little bit closer together. So you're focusing on drawing the navel back towards the spine, elongating through the crown of the head. You're going to exhale, and I want you to march your right foot up. And inhale, tap it down. And exhale, march the left foot up and back down. Good, so if you don't have a ball, don't worry about it. You can still really follow along pretty easily here. Just sitting on your bottom. That ball just adds an extra element of instability and challenge here. Good, I'm gonna walk my hands back a little bit further back behind me. Good, and one more time each way. So I'm focusing on drawing my left ribs back and my right hip back. Good, now keep your right leg lifted. You're going to inhale, reach that leg out long, and then exhale, draw the belly in as you pull the knee in. Good, inhale, reaching out long, and exhale back in. Good, still maintaining. Left rib back, right hip back. So those are the areas that are pushing forward generally. And one last time. Good, replace your foot, and you can shake it out a little bit. I'm just going to do a couple arm circles before we go on to the other side, okay? So now your hands are propped back behind you again. You're really elevating and lifting out of the hands, out of the shoulders. And now lift that left leg up. You're going to reach it out long, inhale, and exhale back in. And inhale, reaching out, and exhale back in. Still growing tall through the crown of the head. Trying not to sink into your curves. You're really elevating and lifting up out of them. 2 more times. And last time. Good, replace your foot down. And now I want you to walk your feet out pretty wide. You're just going to give yourself a little stretch forward. Reach your hands onto the mat. And you're going to roll that ball back and forward just a few times. Trying to release through the inner thighs. And we're not rounding the spine here. It's staying flat. And last time. Good, very nice job. Okay, so you're going to lift yourself up off the ball here and make your way down onto your back. Now if you have your wedges, this is the time where you prop yourself if you know how to appropriately do that. So for me, I'm propping my right ribs and my left hip. Okay, so those are the areas that are dropped backwards or fallen backwards. And now just set your ball to the side. Hopefully it doesn't roll away because we're going to need it in a minute. And you're going to stretch your legs out. They're going to be at the width of the mat. And your arms are going to reach overhead. So your hands or your arms aren't going to be resting down on the ground because that's going to push your ribs forward. So they're just going to be elevated slightly, about the width of a dog overhead. So you're going to be reaching your feet away from your hands and your hands away from your feet. And you're going to inhale in this position. And then exhale, I want you to try and stretch your hands and your feet further and further away from each other. And then inhale as you need to through your nose. And then exhale everything out. So try not to shrink as you do that, okay? So you're going to inhale, maintain that length. And then as you exhale, you're trying to reach your hands and your feet further and further away from each other. Very nice work. And now go ahead and relax, and you're just going to kind of shake it out a little bit. And now reach for your ball. You're going to place it behind your right leg, or just right behind your right knee. And now you can choose a couple of different arm positions if you'd like. You're going to reach your arms straight out to the side. If you know your corrections, I'm going to place my right hand on top of my right shoulder, and then my left hand is going to be down by my side. So just choose whatever works best for you. I'm going to exhale and march my right leg up and place it back down, and then exhale, march the left. So here I'm focusing on maintaining length through my spine and really dropping my right hip and left ribs back into the mat. So we're just alternating a march here, side to side. That ball is acting as a little bit extra resistance on this right leg. And just one more time each way. Sometimes it helps to put your hands where you want it to drop back into the mat. Good, now I want you to lift both legs up into a tabletop position. And now you're going to begin tapping your right toes just a few inches away and back up. And now your left leg is going to reach out and draw it back in. And right toes move away. And left leg reaches out. So you're only going down as far as you're able to maintain a neutral spine here. So if you feel your lower back pulling away from the mat, you want to just lift your leg up a little bit higher or not go down quite as low. Very nice work. And now you're going to keep that left leg straight. You're going to reach it up to the ceiling and tap the right toes down and back up, and then lower that leg and back up. So since that leg is straight, it's a longer lever, it's a lot more resistance and tension on the lower back. So you might not be able to go quite as far, and that's okay. Just make sure you're continuing to breathe. And one more time each way. Good, now you're going to lower that right leg down and begin turning out from the inner thigh of that left leg. And just begin drawing little leg circles with that leg. Now again, I'm going to kind of check myself, put my hand at the places that need to be dropped back. Just an extra little reminder here. And now reverse your circle. Trying to keep everything nice and still, maintaining a nice long neck on either side, length through the tailbone. Very good. You're going to replace that foot down onto the mat and open your arms out wide. Now I want you to begin pressing into your feet. Your feet are hip distance apart, and you're just going to hover your hips and then tap the hips back down. So as you're lifting up, if you have an area where it's really pulling forward, you want to focus on keeping it back into the mat. So for me, that's my left side. Those ribs like to really push forward. So I'm concentrating on keeping them back, even though I'm lifting my hips. So it's a lot of counter work here. Good, and now I want you to lift up those hips again and keep them lifted. Make sure that you're maintaining those corrections. If you don't know them, don't worry about it. Just focus on having a nice long spine here. And I want you to begin closing your arms over your chest and opening out wide. So you're maintaining that lift of the hips. You're maintaining your corrections here. Using your breath to help stabilize. And just one more time. Each time you're reaching those fingers further away from each other. Good, and then carefully lower your hips back down onto the mat. Your wedges might have moved a little bit. You can kind of adjust them as you need to. And now you're going to remove the ball from behind that thigh and place it under your left side. Okay, so I'm going to place my hands at the front of my hip, my right hip and my left rib. And I'm just going to begin marching, alternating a lift of the leg. Good, so this is just very focused attention here. Make sure your shoulders aren't rounding forward, the collarbones are staying open out wide. Again, that ball is adding a little extra resistance, which is going to have your body want to roll towards that side. So you just have to anticipate that movement before you lift the leg. And now you're going to lift one leg at a time up into a tabletop position here and reset yourself if you need to. Begin moving the left leg away and back up, and then straighten your right leg out and draw it back in. So you're tapping and lifting. Good, and lengthening. So if you're doing this and you're postnatal and you have abdominal separation, just make sure that you're not noticing any coning or protruding here. If you are, again, just lift your leg a little bit higher, don't lower it quite as much. Good, and now you're going to keep the right leg straight. It's going to reach up to the ceiling. Begin tapping the toes down and lift back up and lower that leg. Good, so this is more challenging with that leg straight. Good, we're going to do 2 more times each side, and only lowering as low as you're able to maintain that neutral spine. Not increasing an arch in the lower back or any pain in the lower back. Good. Lower that left leg or that left foot flat on the mat. Turn out from the hip of your lifted leg and begin circling away from midline and up and around and hold. So inhale, exhale, up and hold. You're reaching your fingertips away from each other, east and west. Good, maintaining a nice long leg. The hips aren't rocking side to side. One more time. Good, and then circle the leg the other way. And up and hold. Inhale, exhale, up and hold. 2 more times. And last time. Very nice work. Replace your foot down onto the mat. Make sure that your feet are hip distance apart. You're going to press into the feet and hover the hips. So you can go up as high as you're able to maintain that connection with the ribs in the back and lower back down. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just make sure that your spine is nice and long. You're not pushing one side of your ribs more up towards the ceiling. You want to make sure that they're even here. And lower back down. And only lift up as high as you don't have any discomfort. And lower back down, and just one more time. Lifting up and hold. Then you're going to flip your palms up to the ceiling. You're going to lift your hands up to the ceiling. I want you to lower one hand and lift the other. So you're just scissoring the arms here back and forth, focusing on keeping the ribs even. Using your breath, drawing back through your center. One more time each way. And last time. Good, lower both arms down by your side and carefully lower the hips down to the mat. Good, and hug your knees into your chest, just giving yourself a little release there. Good, okay, we're going to make our way onto our side to do some side leg work, so just carefully make your way up into a seated position. And you don't need your wedges for this if you have been following along with those. You do need your ball. The ball is going to act as a pillow here. Okay, so what I want you to focus on here is I am laying down onto my concave side. So that is the side that is pushed forward. It's more sunken in if you're looking at my back. And I'm going to put this this ball under my head. Okay, and what I'm doing on this side, I'm focusing on laying all of my ribs down into the mat on this side, okay? So that's helping to facilitate a derotation of the spine, okay? So now you're keeping both of your legs bent here. And I'm going to reach this top arm up to the ceiling. Actually, I'm going to put it on my hip. Sorry, I keep changing my mind. And really let your head rest down into the ball or the pillow, whatever you're using here. And you're going to begin rotating the top knee up and back down. So just rotating and lowering back down. Make sure those bottom ribs stay connected into the mat. You're lifting up through your center, drawing back through your belly button. That top shoulder is set down the back. And 2 more lifts. Nice job. Good, now you're going to keep your knee and your foot even, and you're going to lift up and lower back down. So again, you're focused on keeping those bottom ribs down into the mat. They're not lifting up and pulling away. A little bit opposite of what you're normally taught in Pilates. Good. 2 more lifts. And now you're going to keep that leg lifted. You're going to reach the leg out from the hip and pull it back in. And lengthen it out. And back in. Good. Lengthen. Don't allow those ribs to pop or lift up. I'm keeping them drawn into my body too. And now straighten that leg out. Keep it straight. We're going to reach your top arm up to the ceiling and lower it down to that leg. And then reach it overhead. And lower it down. And reach it overhead. Good, you're pulling back through your center here. 1 more time. Good, and now you're going to begin making little circles with that lifted leg. Concentrating on all those things I was talking about before. And then begin circling the leg the other way. So you're not turning out from the hip, your knee and your toes are pointing forward. Just drawing little circles here. Last time, and now keep that leg lifted one last time. You're going to move the arm forward, straight out from your shoulder and up to the ceiling. Straight out from shoulder and then up. Drawing back through the ribs. And 2 more times. Really hard work here. You can take breaks as you need to. And now lower that leg down, let it relax, and you can kind of tap on your hip a little bit to release through those muscles. Whew. Okay, go ahead and sit up for a moment. It's weird having my head on that ball and talking. Go ahead and cross the leg that you just worked over top of the bottom leg and try and settle your hips down into the mat. You kind of just hear myself echoing. Good, buddy. Ugh. So it's very important to strengthen the sides of your hip with any sort of back issue, scoliosis, lower back pain from pregnancy, if you've had a spinal fusion and you're taking this class, it's just very important to have nice strong hips to provide a. Sorry about that. All right, so you're going to lower yourself down onto this side. So this is my convex side, and this is the side that I'm focused on keeping lifted up off that mat. And your bottom leg is staying bent, your top leg is going to extend out straight. Actually, no, they're both going to stay bent. I'm all thrown off from that phone call. Sorry. So you're going to begin rotating the top knee up and lowering back down. So this is my convex side. So I am side bent toward the right, and right now I'm focusing on lifting up on that right side to counteract that side bend to the right. Good. So this is familiar if you have done Pilates before. This is the main focus in side leg work, is keeping that bottom side of the waist lifted up. So you don't want any of your ribs to be touching the ground on this side. And just one more rotation and lower down. Now you're going to lift your foot and your knee equally and lower back down. And exhale, lift and lower back down. Good. So drawing back through your center, relax your top shoulder. And last time. Good, now this time you're going to keep the leg lifted, you're going to reach it straight out from the hip and bring it back in. So here it's challenging to maintain that lift of the bottom side of the waist. You can even wrap your hand around here to kind of make sure it's staying lifted. Now if it's causing pain, that you might be over exerting that side bend, so just kind of relax a little bit if you're getting any discomfort there. And now keep that leg out straight. We're going to reach your top arm up to the ceiling. We're going to lower it down towards the hip and then lift it straight up to the ceiling again. So you're just moving the arm. Everything else is staying nice and still. Oops. Nice work. I'm focusing on drawing those left ribs back into my body. And now keep the arm lifted. You're going to close it straight out from the shoulder and then open back up. Good. Let that head relax into the ball. Try not to lift it up. And 2 more times. Don't collapse through the collarbones. Good, now keep the arm reaching up to the ceiling, little circles with that lifted leg. Good, still drawing back through your center. Not allowing the ribs to push forward. And little circles the other way. And last time. Good, allow that leg to relax. You can kind of tap on that hip, releasing through all those muscles we just worked. Okay, and now make your way up to a seated position. You're going to cross that leg over top of the bottom leg and try and settle both hips into the mat here. Now if you don't have a lot of space here, you can just extend that leg out forward and kind of lean into the stretch. Good. So as best as you can, try and maintain a nice long spine. And that's it. So that was 30 minutes of neutral spine work, safe for scoliosis, safe for spinal fusion, pre and postnatal. So if you happen upon this class and you don't fall into any of those categories, still a challenging workout, you can save it and share it with some friends as well. But anyway, I am so glad that you came and joined me today. If you have any questions, please send me a message. And I will be back again on Thursday around the same time. So thanks again for joining. I love you all. It's so fun to move with you and learn and grow from each other. Have a great rest of your night.